Good evening. We have some news breaking on the coronavirus vaccine. Pfizer says their vaccine is ready to be distributed to the public by the end of the year and Americans are ready. More on this coming up.
Dr. Anthony Fauci finally has some positive news to share with the American people as he says, by the time we get to the fall, we can start approaching some degree of relief where the level of infection will be so low in society we can start essentially approaching some form of normality.
Despite what Dr. Fauci has to say, there are many challenges and obstacles to overcome in order to get this vaccine distributed. We as analysts like to discuss the current state of the distribution process, the challenges being faced during this time, and ways we are coping with these difficulties. Over 50 million vaccines are ready to be rolled out, with some already in circulation. This vaccine, however, has its challenges when it comes to distribution, and companies still need to find efficient ways to get it to the public.
According to research, the vaccine must be kept at negative 94 degrees Fahrenheit. The way Pfizer plans on maintaining this temperature is by packaging the vaccine with dry ice. They essentially will package the vaccine inside of a suitcase-like container with layers of the dry ice beneath the vaccine itself. As you can see, these pods that carry the vaccine itself are quite massive. These are technically speaking called ultra-cold container units. This alone brings a plethora of issues, such as the weight itself, which hinders aircraft transportation. The aircrafts have a limited capacity of how many containers it can hold, and the dry ice is simply additional weight that was unanticipated from the start. As we know, aircraft would be the fastest and most efficient way of transporting the valuable vaccine.
Not only is air transportation hindered by the capacity it can hold, but these airlines will be expected to deliver the vaccine with only a 5-day notice or less. These companies are used to being able to plan months ahead of time. These airlines, like the rest of the world, did not expect a global pandemic, and they were also not prepared just like the rest of us. So it is unfair to expect them to be entirely as readily available as we hope them to be. Another option to transport the vaccine would be with delivery trucks. However, like the aircraft method, this also has many obstacles to overcome. These trucks will be refrigerated but can't hold as much as an aircraft, or are they as fast as a plane. These vaccines only have a certain lifespan, so this method can only be used for relatively close deliveries.
The utilization of both air and ground transportation may be very tricky and seem like it's not a feasible method of distribution as well as transportation, but it is in fact something that we are currently using and will continue to use throughout this distribution process. The COVID-19 vaccine is considered to be a cold chain, and this is something that people within the courier industry are not unfamiliar with. Goods such as food and liquids that are transported every day are cold chains, and by utilizing the efficient techniques already in use, would prove to be very effective. We believe that both of these methods are in fact feasible. U.S. cargo companies are currently down in terms of traffic, which leaves more flights open for transportation as well as more money to be made, considering how desperately they need it in the current economic state.
This relates directly to the inventory in transit issue we are witnessing firsthand today. Pfizer has their vaccine approved by the FDA and is ready to go as they have begun the transit process, but the issue at hand is the speed of transportation.
See, the problem at hand is the vaccine must be kept in pristine condition and its shelf life is extremely volatile. If kept in a standard freezer, it is only potent for 5 days. Hospitals are only equipped with these standard freezers and do not have the facilities to store the vaccine at the required negative 95 degrees Fahrenheit. The ultra-cold container units that Pfizer supplies are only allowed to be opened twice a day for no more than 3 minutes at a time. Whether it be from the government or private companies, or even a combination of the two, there needs to be a basic plan laid out for transportation companies of all types in order for this vaccine to get distributed in the fastest and most efficient way President Donald J. Trump discussed how the vaccine would be distributed by the military, and that's exactly what's going on. Operation Warp Speed is a public-private partnership mission led by U.S. Army Forces General Gustave F. Perna. The mission is quite simple: to distribute as many vaccines as possible to as many Americans as possible. The final destination for these initial first batches of vaccines will be hospitals. The hospital's number one priority during this process will be making sure they administer the vaccine before the inventory goes to waste.
We believe that the best solution to keeping this priority feasible is to have a system of regional hubs of the ultra-cold container units that can easily be transported daily via truck. This will negate the fear of losing potency or losing the effectiveness of the batches entirely.
Looking into the future, the vaccine is said to be used initially for those who need it most, such as those in critical condition due to the virus itself. Next in line will be essential workers starting early of next year.
The general public can expect the vaccine to be readily available for them in the spring of 2021. This may seem like a long time from now, but keep in mind the virus itself hit over 8 months ago, so in turn, the time will hopefully fly by.
This video was researched, written, and produced for your Fall 2020 BUS-301 Supply Chain Management class by myself, Nicholas Marino, and Tyler Jolly.